Gilgit-Baltistan, a land of breathtaking beauty, cradled within the towering peaks of the Himalayas and Karakoram. For centuries, this remote region, now under Pakistani control, has been a crossroads of cultures, a meeting point of empires. But beneath the majestic scenery lies a hidden history, a history interwoven with myth, legend, and a chilling curse. Tucked away in a desolate valley, accessible only by treacherous mountain paths, lie the ruins of an ancient monastery. Its origins are shrouded in mystery, its purpose long forgotten. Until recently, its secrets remained undisturbed, guarded only by the unforgiving landscape and the whispers of the wind. But in the year 2023, a team of Pakistani archaeologists, accompanied by military personnel, stumbled upon something extraordinary. Something that would awaken a forgotten legend and unleash a terrifying chain of events. Deep within the crumbling walls of the monastery, concealed behind a collapsed section of the main prayer hall, they found it. An urn. Not of gold, not of silver, but of simple clay, intricately carved with symbols that seemed both familiar and alien. The symbols were identified as ancient Sanskrit, and the inscription, partially deciphered, spoke of Rishi Agastya. Agastya, one of the Saptarishi, the 7 great sages of Hindu tradition. A figure of immense spiritual power, revered for his knowledge, his wisdom, and his mastery of the elements. Legend has it that Agastya traveled extensively throughout the Indian subcontinent, spreading knowledge and establishing temples. But why would his remains, or what were believed to be his remains, be found in this remote corner of the Himalayas? And more importantly, what was the significance of the inscription that warned against disturbing his final resting place? The inscription was fragmented, but the message was clear. Let those who defile this sacred ground know that the wrath of Agastya will descend upon them. The unworthy shall be consumed by shadow and madness. Superstition? Ancient folklore? The Pakistani officers present dismissed it as mere myth. They ordered the urn to be secured and transported to a research facility in Islamabad. The transport was uneventful. But within days of the urn's arrival at the Islamabad facility, strange occurrences began to plague the team. Captain Faraz, the officer in charge of the urn's security, complained of insomnia, vivid nightmares, and a persistent feeling of being watched. He described seeing shadowy figures lurking in the corners of his vision, hearing whispers in a language he couldn't understand. His colleagues dismissed it as stress, the pressures of a demanding job. But the symptoms were spreading. Other members of the team reported similar experiences: unexplained chills, auditory hallucinations, a growing sense of dread. Then the hallucinations intensified. The shadowy figures became more distinct, more menacing. The whispers coalesced into voices, chanting Agastya's name, demanding retribution. One evening, Captain Faraz was found in his office, his face contorted in a mask of unimaginable horror. He was screaming incoherently, thrashing wildly, as if battling an invisible assailant. His last words before succumbing to cardiac arrest were chilling: "The sage walks again. He's here for me." The official explanation was a sudden heart attack brought on by stress. But whispers began to circulate among the staff at the research facility. Whispers of a curse, of ancient spirits, of a power beyond human comprehension. Within days, the entire facility was placed under quarantine. The remaining members of the team were subjected to rigorous medical and psychological evaluations. But the curse, it seemed, had taken root. More began showing same symptoms as Captain Faraz. 2 of the scientists were on the edge of going completely insane. Some started to speak Sanskrit out of nowhere. The Pakistani government, desperate to contain the situation, imposed a strict media blackout. The official narrative was that a highly contagious, previously unknown virus had been detected at the facility. But information, like a persistent whisper, has a way of seeping out. They said it was a virus. They said we were all contaminated. But I know what I saw. I saw the fear in their eyes. I heard the chanting. It wasn't a virus. It was something ancient and powerful. Skeptics dismissed the events as mass hysteria, a psychological phenomenon triggered by the power of suggestion. They posited that the team members were suffering from a shared delusion, amplified by the stress of their work and the suggestive nature of the Sanskrit inscription. However, this explanation failed to account for all the reported experiences. But others weren't so sure. Some scholars, intrigued by the reports, began to delve deeper into the legends of Agastya, searching for clues that might explain the events unfolding in Islamabad. The urn remains locked away in a secure facility, its fate uncertain. The research facility in Islamabad has been abandoned, a silent monument to the events that transpired within its walls. The Pakistani government has never publicly acknowledged the curse, but the rumors persist, fueled by the silence and the lingering sense of unease that permeates the region. Was it a curse? A psychological phenomenon? Or something else entirely? The truth, like the windswept peaks of the Himalayas, remains shrouded in mystery, leaving us to ponder the enduring power of belief, the enduring legacy of Rishi Agastya, and the enduring mysteries of a land where the past refuses to stay buried. Today the monastery stands as it did before. Abandoned to the harsh elements, visited only by occasional shepherds and the whistling wind. But locals believe it is not as it seems. They say the area around the monastery is haunted. Some claim that a strange glow is seen, coming from the monastery ruins on full moon nights. People around that area avoid it at all cost. It is said that while the immediate effects were felt in Islamabad, the true power of the curse remains anchored to the Gilgit region. Locals believe that those considered unwelcome by the sage will be struck down if they venture there. The sage Agastya guards his land from those with impure hearts and wrong intentions, ensuring his domain remains undisturbed. The story of the ashes of Agastya is based on real locations and ancient legends. While the events described are speculative, the underlying themes of history, culture, and the power of belief offer a fascinating glimpse into a little-known corner of the world.